Hey guys, Uncle Papa Johnny here. Welcome back to the channel. Got something different for you today. Something different than I've ever done. I make a really easy chili recipe. All stuff you can just run to the grocery store, pick up, come in and combine your ingredients, your combinations, and just go with it. But I'm trying it on this smoker pellet grill today for the first time ever. Some of you will make fun of me right off the bat and say, well, that's not chili. This is what we call chili here. Some of you will call it hot dog sauce. This is what we put on our hot dogs. Today's July the 1st, tomorrow's July the 2nd, and it's Sunday, and we're going to be having a special cookout at church on Sunday, and this is what I'm making it for. I love to make my chili and let it set overnight for 24 hours. I think it just imparts and soaks up that flavor as it sets in the refrigerator overnight, and then we'll heat it back up in the morning and serve it just after the morning service there at church with our hamburgers and hot dogs that we'll have. First thing that you might notice here is I've got my warmer out. This is my warming rack. I've got it out of there because this particular grill's small enough that I need it out to be able to get my pot in, and I'm actually using a Dutch oven. This is a Dutch oven I just bought. I've cooked in the Dutch oven several times before, different places, but this is a Dutch oven I bought new. I actually let my last Dutch oven go in our camper when we sold it because I used it to cook out like that all the time. And you know, hindsight's 20/20. I should have realized that I was going to be using that at some point in time. But the first thing I do to make my hot dog sauce is I went ahead and chopped this up at the same time for the channel, and I just got it on an old paper plate here. It's a chopped up cooking onion, a small one, just a little smaller than a baseball. I've got just enough olive oil in my Dutch oven here to coat the bottom, just a drizzle, just enough when it heated up that it coated the bottom good. And I let this cast iron Dutch oven get good and hot, just like you would if you cook something like this in the house. Chop these up, but you know, I always go back through and do like this. Gonna let those cook up and saute up for a while. Let those cook up and saute up for a while in there, and then we'll add what's next. Give them just a minute. Biggest reason I've got gloves on comes next, or the second biggest reason probably. Chop that onion up. That's the main thing I do. Everybody's like, how do you keep onion smell off your hands? Put on a pair of gloves. And I'm a little bit, may not know about surroundings I'm cooking in just down here at the barn. Hold on a second, got a dog running away. Bailey, come here. Bailey, stay up here at the barn. I don't know about my settings, but I'm particular when I cook food. I want to make sure everything's clean. I wash these gloves before I use them. I wash them in antibacterial Dawn dish soap. I rub them down and wash them real good, just like I was washing my hands. But this helps keep that onion smell off your hands, for one thing. Those onions are starting to cook up a little bit now. I've got this grill right now set on 325. It's running about 300 because I keep opening it. But I've got it also right over where the firebox is at on this pellet grill, so I'm getting all that. You can see the flames in there flickering. So I'm getting all that heat. The next reason I've got my gloves on is the hamburger meat. Catch my balance there. I've got about 2 pounds of hamburger meat here. I used a little bit of it earlier. My wife wanted a burger for supper, so I fixed her a burger on the grill here. Dropped a piece of it. Don't want to waste it. But I'll break this hamburger meat up real good. It's about a pound. Actually, that was the packet a little bit less than a pound because I stole a little bit out of it. This pack's actually a little bit over a pound, and I'm using chuck. I told you in the last video when I showed you about putting the grill together, and then I showed you that we were trying hamburgers on the first time we used it, that I'm a chuck man. I like to cook hamburgers out of chuck. I like to make my hot dogs out of chuck. You can use ground beef. Ground beef's just a little fattier. So there'll be more grease. I'll break that hamburger up good as I impart it here. Start mixing it up a little bit with my hands before it gets too hot. Breaking it up. Mixed up a little bit with the onions. There's a lady at the church now. She said, I just don't like onions. I got volunteered to cut and dice our onions tomorrow for our service after church. She said, I just don't like onions. I said, well, the chili's got onions in it, because they were talking about my chili, and she said, well, I'll have to try it. I didn't try it the last time. And I said, well, they're going to be cooked up. Most people don't even realize that a lot of people put chili in their onions. Chili in their onions. Put onions in their chili. Y'all hang around my channel long enough, you'll see I don't know nothing. Can't even talk straight. Take my spatula. Break that stuff up some more, chop it up some more. It's starting to cook. I need to get everything going. So, good amount of salt. Beef takes salt. Beef always takes salt. So, good amount of salt. Probably don't need this in chili, but I always salt and pepper anything I cook with beef in it. Decent amount of pepper. Go ahead and kind of mix that up a little bit there, get it going. And I know you can't see directly in the pot, but you get an idea of what's going on. Another thing I always do is add a little bit of water to it. It'll cook out, but it'll just help it cook where it's deep in that pot. And to me, it also makes it easier to drain the grease off of it before you add the rest of your ingredients after the hamburger cooks. Not the most appetizing thing you ever see to look at when it's in this stage, but it'll be good, trust me. I'm gonna put my lid on my Dutch oven. Shut my grill back down, clean my mess up here, walk back up to the house. Back up to the house, give it a little while, let her cook. Come back and I'll show you the next step in creating my chili. All right, guys, so I just took it out and I drained the hamburger's cooked now. The onions is cooked up. I just took it out. I drained most of the grease and the water that I added to it, the liquids that was in the pot. I drained that out. I don't know if you can hear it, but my dog's is having a heyday here while I drained it out, because I just drained it out right here on the ground, and they're having a heyday. So I can hear them licking and scratching in the gravel. I don't know if you can or not, but next thing we'll do, of course, I've got the lid off. See the hamburger cooking and steaming. Most of the liquid's out of it. There's a little bit left in it, and I'll end up adding a little bit of liquid back to it for the cook. The final ingredient. I'm always constantly breaking the hamburger up. Of course, once you let it sit and cook like it, kind of combines back. But it's real easy to go back to and broke up. I've done broke it up some, and I'll constantly be breaking it up more because I want that chili to be fine. I want the meat and the chili to be just as fine as I can get it. And the next thing I'm going to add is can of rotel mild. I really like this in my chili. I used to use the rotel chili mix along with what else I'm putting in it, but for some people it got a little too hot. I liked it, but so I went back to the just 1 can of rotel mild. You could possibly get away with putting 2 cans in it, but I'm taking it to the church, so I don't want it to be too hot on anybody. So I'm putting 1 can of rotel mix in it. Also got a can, that's a 10-ounce can too, also 10 ounce. Also got a can of tomato paste, just off-brand, store-brand tomato paste. And I'm going to add it to it. This is where some of the liquid will get added back to it. I'll take me a little bit of water. Of course, we don't have running water here at the barn. Take a little bit of water, add to the can, and I'll put my glove hand over it. Shake it up, try to clean that out best I can. And you're not going to get it all out of there. That tomato paste sticks. So, put that in there. We'll give that a mix up. Better mix up. And here's probably the biggest cheat item. I don't make my own chili powder. I don't mix my own chili seasonings. I like French's Chilio. You don't really hear anybody talk about this much, but I love this French's Chilio mix. It's really easy. It's got its own little recipe on the back. Different things that you can try with it. Of course, I've kind of changed my recipe up a little bit. That's the thing about this chili recipe. Try it. Do what you want to do. I'm actually supposed to be for a pound of beef. Of course, if you remember, I got 2 pounds. And I'm going to start out where I put the rotels in it for a little bit of heat. I'm going to start out with about 1.5 packs. Maybe a little more than 1.5 packs. We'll start out with that. I'll probably add just a little more water to it right now, just to make that a little easier to mix up. And listen, one thing the tomato paste does for me is it gives it a good binder as far as, something help hold it together as much as you want chili sauce to hold together. It helps add that color to it that you want, that color to it, more than it really ever adds the taste or anything else. Man, it really, I like the color that it gives my hot dog chili, my hot dog sauce, whatever you guys out there want to call it. Also, another thing I want you guys to remember is right now, I'm doing a grill challenge with St. Jude's. I'm going to try to have these videos up this week. Maybe work on them tomorrow night. I want to make some more sermon notes tonight before I start into it tomorrow, but so I probably won't forward these videos. And guys, listen, I'm not a great editor. Y'all gonna see that. I'm not even gonna pretend to be a great YouTuber. I'm doing this because I like to do it, because I've been encouraged to do it by my friends. Hey, I've been encouraged to do it by the guys that I told you about. They've really encouraged me to do it. So I don't have fancy editing. It's just me. It's my phone. It's what I like to do. And so hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I want you to go check my buddies out. If you like any kind of hunting or outdoor type of interest, go check them out. Go check out Brett Vaughn on Born 100 Years Too Late. Go check him out. He rides mules. He rides his mule through the desert, and sometimes he takes his pack mule with him, and he'll camp out, and he takes his hounds with him, and if they strike up a line track or some kind of track, he'll let them trail it and go see what he's got. But it's more about the adventure with him, and it's called Born 100 Years Too Late. Go check Brett out. Brett's a really good guy. I've got to be friends with Brett lately. I've also got to be friends with Chris Watson. He's on over on Antidote of a Houndsman. Excuse me. Go check him out. He's a really good guy too. He's really encouraged me a whole lot. He's just a simple old boy like the rest of us, and he just enjoys doing it, and he does about the same thing Brett does. Also, you want to check out George Lambert. George is a Virginia boy like me. Brett is in New Mexico, and Chris is in Arizona, so they're out west doing that stuff. Brett's a Virginia boy like me. He's got his mule, his hounds. He uses his truck too because of the area we live in, and not being able to always ride a mule on a mountain, but it's called Mountain Music and Mules. Go check out Mountain Music and Mules, Mountain Music and Mules. I'm sure that's what it is. Go check him out. He runs bear here in Virginia, and he's also got a great little old dog, and you'll find out real quick. Scruffy is the star of the channel. Scruffy's a little old black and tan looking feist, and Scruffy ends up being the star. He's the star. So go check out George and Scruffy over on Mountain Music and Mules. And also Nick Isaac. I've kind of got to be friends with Nick lately. He's in that same group with those guys, and Nick's is Hound on the Run, and he does a podcast a lot of times, but he's trying to remember where Nick's at. Maybe California. Where is it Nick's at? Not California. Heck, go check Nick out. Those are some really good guys that have been good to me and helped me out and encouraged me. But just like and subscribe to this channel. I'm going to let this chili, get back to the chili. I'm going to let this chili cook, and I'm going to let this chili cook for a while. And I'm not really wanting to cook for doneness. Now I'm wanting to cook to let those ingredients combine and marry into each other, and let them do their thing and create that flavor. I showed you I only put part of that chili pack in. I'll go back and taste it here in a little bit. But for right now, where I'm really not wanting to cook for doneness, I'm wanting to cook for that marriage, and I'm wanting to cook for some maybe wood pellet flavor coming out here out of these pellets, some wood flavor. I'm gonna cut my heat back. I'm currently on 325, and it's overshot that a little bit where I've had the lid up so long and it's been trying to catch up. I'm gonna cut back to 250 and try that out and see what happens there. But you guys hang on here just a second. I'll be back. I'll show you what it looks like after it sets for a while. And it may be dark by the time I come back out here and check on it. It's getting later in the afternoon here on July the 1st. So you guys just hang around. Appreciate you guys for sticking in this long. I've also got a challenge I started. I think I started off telling you about, and I got off on see the reason I hang out with houndsmen, and I'm a preacher, I got off on what they call a rabbit trail. In a grill challenge now on Facebook, and it's for St. Jude's, just strictly to raise money for St. Jude's. None of it comes my way. I don't see any of it. If you'll go on my Facebook page, my name's Jonathan Jones. You can look me up. Of course, there's a million Jonathan Joneses on there, but go on there and look up Uncle Pawpaw Johnny. That is my page I started a while back. Don't really have many followers on it yet for this channel. Go on there, find out where I've put that link on there for that. I'm going to try to share it to this video too, and down in the description. Go on there, check that out, donate to St. Jude's if you don't mind. If you can't find that out, check that out. Hey man, slap a $5 bill in the mail and mail it to St. Jude's. Help St. Jude's out. I'm all about those kids down there that have had cancer, and and that are trying to recover, or they've got cancer and trying to recover. St. Jude's is great. If you're a parent, you'll know a lot of times what bills and stuff are. Imagine your child having cancer and having no way to pay for it, because that's expensive. And St. Jude's doesn't charge anybody a dime. They bring those kids in, and all they're worried about is getting them healed. So go on there, check that link out. In just a moment, you know, it's gonna be a while for me, but it'll be just a moment for you, show you what the end product is, and we'll taste this chili to where I've only put part of that in there, and we'll see what we got. Y'all stick around. All right, guys, it's starting to get dark here. Video's showing up a little better than I actually thought it would. It's not quite dark, it's still daylight, but it's coming in, so we'll go ahead and get this off now. It's set a pretty good while, and if you could actually back up and see what I seen walking down here, cold the temperature off, so I've got more smoke going in there now. I did come out and stir it once, and it's not exactly what I want it to be. I usually only make about a pound batch at a time for us here, since I've started using the tomato paste. I used to use some crushed tomatoes and different things like that. I think I may have put too much tomato paste in. I've been putting 6 ounces in for a pound, and so I just doubled it, but it's almost got too much of a tomato paste taste. Yeah, you guys get what I'm trying to say. I don't really like it. Boy, you can see that smoke coming up there good now. So I'm hoping, of course, like I said, once it sets 24, or not 24 hours, but overnight, I always think it's much better when I heat it up, back up the next day. A big batch like this, if it's not all used at the church tomorrow, I'll bring it home, and we'll keep it and freeze it, and I'll make chili beans out of it, maybe later on when it cools off this winter. But I've not opened it since I come back down here just now, so it's been cooking for a little while longer on the cool taste, on the cool smoke, cooler temperature. Let's check it out. And of course, I'm gonna move the camera a little bit. Of course, it's got a nice mahogany color right now before I stir it, because of the lid being open and the smoke and stuff going in it. But it looks good. I did add that other pack of, well, not the other pack, the remainder of the other the remainder of the other chili seasoning to it. We'll just see what happens after it sits overnight. I'm not thoroughly impressed with what I've done this time. That's the bad thing about videoing something. It just don't seem like it ever works out like I want it to. Not like it did before for me. But like I said, this is a little bigger batch than I've been making since then. It's got a beautiful look to it. Let me get over and find the camera for like a hot dog chili. I love the color. I think maybe it might taste a little bit better since I added the other pack to it, but I'm not happy. I mean, it's gonna be good on a hot dog, but it's not what I want it to be. I'm always, especially when you're fixing something for somebody else, I always want the best. I always want it to turn out the best it's ever been. But I appreciate y'all for sticking around, checking out the end of this video. There gonna be better things to come than this. I promise you. See, y'all hang in there with us. Remember, God, family, and country. Until next time, this is Pawpaw Johnny signing off. I'm getting bad about that, Pawpaw Johnny. The name come about, Pawpaw Johnny come about because of one of my friends had a kid, and he's much younger than us, and he started calling me Pawpaw Johnny. Channel's Uncle Pawpaw Johnny, and that come across after my niece had her first child. Somebody handed her hook to me, and where we done had a child, they said, "Here you go, Pawpaw," and so you can call me Pawpaw too. And they said, I said, well, he can, but it just kind of took me by shock. And there's, well, Uncle Pawpaw. So Uncle Pawpaw Johnny started sticking around, but I've been called Pawpaw Johnny so much it sticks in my head. But this is Uncle Pawpaw Johnny, signing off. Y'all have a great day. Take it easy. Thank you for watching.